The CH-47 Chinook is one of those rare military machines that seems to defy the normal rules of aging. While most aircraft are retired after a few decades, the Chinook has not only survived for more than 60 years, it has evolved into something far more capable than its original designers ever imagined. The CH-47F Block II is not a cosmetic refresh or a simple life extension program. It is a fundamental transformation of what a tandem-rotor heavy-lift helicopter can do in modern warfare. Why the tandem-rotor design still matters. To understand why Block II matters, it helps to understand what makes the Chinook unique in the first place. From the beginning, the aircraft was built around a simple but radical idea: two large rotors in tandem instead of a single main rotor and tail rotor. This configuration eliminates the need to divert engine power into countering torque, so nearly all available power goes toward lift. The result is efficiency, stability, and raw carrying capacity that conventional helicopters struggle to match. The reason the Chinook has always punched above its weight class. The original CH-47 entered service in the early 1960s, designed to move artillery, vehicles, ammunition, and troops across difficult terrain. Over the decades it proved capable of carrying heavy external loads in extreme heat, at high altitude, and in poor weather where other helicopters simply could not operate. But modern warfare has pushed those demands further still. Armies now need to lift heavier vehicles, operate from austere forward bases, fly longer distances, and survive in environments saturated with electronic warfare and air defenses. Block II is the Army's answer. What's actually new? At the core of the CH-47F Block II is a significant increase in structural and performance margin. The airframe has been reinforced, with upgraded structural components that let the helicopter safely carry heavier loads without cutting into service life. According to the U.S. Army, the upgrade raises maximum gross weight by about 4,000 pounds, to roughly 54,000 pounds extra margin that translates directly into more cargo, more fuel, or both at once. Power comes from the same Honeywell T55 engine family used on the CH-47F, each producing around 4,868 shaft horsepower. Block II's contribution is in how that power is used. An improved drivetrain and reinforced transmission let the aircraft sustain higher torque without overstressing components critical during hot and high operations, where lift margins disappear quickly. Block II also introduces a redesigned rotor system with new blade geometry that Boeing says adds several thousand pounds of lift without any increase in engine power, while reducing vibration. Combined with the strengthened airframe, this allows the aircraft to carry heavier external sling loads and internal payloads than earlier F-model Chinooks. An improved fuel system consolidating what used to be three separate fuel cells into a simplified design adds capacity and reduces weight, extending mission radius across nearly all payload configurations. With aerial refueling, which the Chinook has long supported, that reach extends further still. In cruise, the aircraft operates in the 150 to 170 miles per hour range depending on configuration and load, respectable performance for an aircraft built to carry armored vehicles and artillery. A cockpit and defensive suite built for today's threats. Block II builds on the CH-47F's digital cockpit, adding an open systems avionics architecture designed to make future upgrades easier and cheaper to integrate, whether that means new navigation aids, defensive systems, or eventually a role supporting unmanned systems. Boeing has also described elementary autonomous functions, such as automated engine control, as part of the package. Survivability has been addressed with the reality that a logistics aircraft can no longer count on staying out of the fight. Depending on customer requirements, Block II aircraft can be fitted with missile warning systems, countermeasure dispensers, and radar warning receivers, alongside the redundant flight control and hydraulic systems the Chinook has carried for years, closing the gap between what armies need and what they can move. Modern armored vehicles and self-propelled artillery have grown heavier with each generation, often forcing planners to choose between fuel, armor, and range when moving them by air, or to move them by road instead, at greater risk. Block II narrows that trade-off. Missions that once required two sorties with the earlier CH-47F can often be flown in a single Block II sortie, according to Army maintenance crews working with the aircraft. That matters most in places where ground infrastructure is limited or easily cut off, mountains, deserts, and island chains where the Chinook can move troops, vehicles, and supplies directly to forward positions without relying on roads, bridges, or ports. How it compares. Within Western militaries, the closest comparison is the Sikorsky CH-53K King Stallion. The CH-53K offers greater raw lift capacity and was designed from a clean sheet, with three powerful engines and fly-by-wire controls. That capability comes at a cost: higher acquisition price, more mechanical complexity, and more demanding maintenance. The Chinook takes a different approach. Rather than maximizing lift in a single sortie, Block II prioritizes efficiency, reliability, and sustained availability. It may not outlift the largest heavy-lift helicopters, but it is easier to deploy, easier to maintain, and more practical for continuous operations across multiple theaters, a balance that matters more than peak performance when tempo and availability decide outcomes. Reliability and interoperability. Reliability is arguably the Chinook's quietest strength. The airframe has accumulated millions of flight hours across Arctic cold, desert heat, tropical humidity, and high-altitude terrain, a track record few aircraft can match. Block II builds on that history rather than replacing it with unproven concepts. Interoperability adds to the case. The Chinook is operated by roughly 20 nations across Europe, North America, and beyond, with Germany alone committing to 60 Block II aircraft to replace its CH-53K fleet. Shared training, maintenance practices, and doctrine mean a Block II Chinook from one country can slot into a multinational task force with far less friction than a niche platform would face. The tandem rotor layout still pays off in tight terrain. 2. There's no tail rotor clearance to worry about, and the aircraft's center of gravity tolerance lets it handle awkward loads that would destabilize a conventional helicopter. Built to keep evolving? Perhaps the most notable thing about the CH-47F Block II is that it extends the relevance of a design that first flew more than 60 years ago, without treating that design as fixed. Boeing and the Army have both said the aircraft is meant to remain in service for decades yet, with enough structural and electrical margin to absorb future defensive systems, navigation technology, and possibly integration with unmanned systems. In a military landscape preoccupied with stealth and speed, the Chinook is a reminder that some problems are still best solved with lift, reliability, and disciplined engineering. Block II doesn't try to be everything, it focuses on doing one job better than almost anything else: flying, moving heavy things far, fast, and reliably, wherever the mission takes it.
From the start, you had problems with me and the things I could be. I just wish I had